Alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalam ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa ashabihi wa man wala. الحديث السادس العشر أو الحديث السادس عشر, the 16th hadith, عن أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه أن رجلا قال للنبي صلى الله عليه وسلم أوصني قال لا تغضب فردد مرارا قال لا تغضب رواه البخاري. Everyone here is correct?
Yeah.
No.
طيب. الحديث السادس عشر, the 16th hadith, عن أبي هريرة. As we said, Abu becomes Abi after An, and Hurayrata is mudaf ilayh, is majroor with a fatha because it's mamnu min as-sarf. Doesn't take tanween, doesn't take kasra. Radiyallahu anhu. Anna rajulan. From him, from Abu Huraira, that
You know Abu Bakr was 2 years younger than the Prophet.
that a man, أنا رجلا قال للنبي صلى الله عليه وسلم أوصني, that a man said to the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Rajulan is nakira. It is indefinite. Nakira, meaning indefinite. Right? It's nakira and it's mansoob after anna. قال للنبي صلى الله عليه وسلم, that a man said to the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم, Nabiyyi, because of li, right, meaning to. So a man said to the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم, Awsini, Awsini, from waw sad ya. We probably know the word wisaya or wasiya, both of them. Wasiya the singular, wisaya the plural. Wasiya meaning an advice, a farewell advice. Right? So awsini is form 4 of this verb, waw sad ya. It means to advise. It's a command. Awsi is a command to a man. Awsi. And then ni is me. Awsini, advise me. Qala sallallahu alayhi wasallam, he said, La taghdab. La taghdab. This la is the la of an-Nahiya. The la of an-Nahiya, meaning the la of prohibition. So it makes the verb following it majzoom with a sukoon or with whatever. So, la taghdab, from taghdabu, right? But when it became majzoom, la taghdab, meaning to get angry, from ghadab, to get angry. La taghdab, do not become angry, do not get angry. Faraddada miraran. Raddada comes from ra dal, right? It is form 2, raddada, right? Meaning to repeat, to continue, to continuously do something. Faraddada miraran. Miraran means it's the plural of marra, meaning times or turns. Times or turns. So do it 3 times, take 3 turns, do it 3 turns, whatever. Marra, and another plural for that is marrat. Right? Marrat. Marat, and then another plural is miraran. So he repeated it a number of times. Basically, a number of times. He repeated it. Qala la taghdab. So every time he repeated the question to advise him, the Prophet ﷺ repeated the answer, La taghdab. Rawahu Bukhari. Narrated by Bukhari. Any questions?
I got the miraran. Can we translate it as like again?
Miraran. Yeah, faraddada is he repeated it again, but it means miraran means, if you just say again, it's going to me, it sounds like once. Like he repeated it again, like just he repeated it once. Whereas he repeated it miraran, he repeated it many times, you know, so it's not just again. Maybe if you said again and again, maybe, you understand?
Okay.
You understand that?
Yes, yes.
But it means he repeated it again, you know, numerous times. Because miraran is plural, 3 or more, so he kept saying it. He kept asking for it, kept repeating the. Let me see here. I'll see what they say inside of this Fawzan translation. In the meantime, Abu Tahir read for us.
عن أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه أن رجلا قال للنبي صلى الله عليه وسلم أوصني قال لا تغضب فردد مرارا قال لا تغضب رواه البخاري.
Oh yeah, but it says inside of Fawzan's, I don't know who translated this, man. It's a hardback book, man. I don't remember how much it cost, but I'm sure it was probably a pretty penny, $30 or something. It's almost 400 pages. But man, this is a bad translation. I mean, even English-wise, it says it repeated it. He repeated it severally. Severally, I don't even think that's a word. You know, several times. If he said he repeated it several times, that'd be different. But he repeated it severally. That's not very good. Allah knows best. Yeah, I don't know who translated. I know I see the name, but I don't know who he is. So anyway, Amir, read for us.
عن أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه أن رجلا قال للنبي صلى الله عليه وسلم أوصني قال لا تغضب فردد مرارا قال لا تغضب رواه البخاري.
Yalla, somebody let off their mic. Abdullah or Amir, read it. Go ahead, Amir, first.
عن أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه أن رجلا قال للنبي صلى الله عليه وسلم أوصني قال لا يغضب فردد مرارا قال لا يغضب رواه البخاري.
Yalla, Abdullah.
عن أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه أن رجلا قال للنبي صلى الله عليه وسلم أوصني قال لا تغضب فردد مرارا قال لا تغضب رواه البخاري.
Yalla, Zubair.
عن أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه أن رجلا قال للنبي صلى الله عليه وسلم أوصني قال لا تغضب فردد مرارا قال لا تغضب رواه البخاري.
We're not going to get to hear you today either. Getting hot as huh? MashaAllah. Cuffing your voice from us, man.
I can be louder. I just, you know, I got critiqued last night by one of the brothers that I'm too loud, so I'm trying to be nice.
I didn't. Awsini means advise me. It comes from wow sad ya, meaning to advise. So wasiyah, a final advice that someone gives to their children before they die, or to their family members before they die, a wasiyah, right? So it comes from there, form 4. Awsini, advise me. طيب الحديث السابع عشر عن أبي يعلى شداد بن أوس رضي الله عنه عن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم قال إن الله كتب الإحسان على كل شيء فإذا قتلتم فأحسنوا القتلة وإذا ذبحتم فأحسنوا الذبح وليحد أحدكم شفرته وليرح ذبيحته رواه مسلم. عن أبي يعلى. Abi was originally Abu. After An, it became Abi. Ya'la is mudaf ilay, and it's majroor, but there's no sign of majroor because of this alif maksura. It prevents it from showing, right? So Ya'la is always going to be Ya'la. Even though it will be marfu or mansub or majroor, it will never have the sign, right? It will always be Ya'la because of that alif maksura there, right? Shaddadi ibni Aus. Shaddadi is majroor because it's a badal for Abi. We could say an Abi Ya'la, or we could say an Shaddadi. Ibn is a badal for Shaddad, which is a badal for Abi, right? So it's majroor. And Aus is mudaf ilay. Ibni Aus. We can say an Ibn Aus. An Nabi, an Rasulillahi sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Rasuli is majroor after an. Lafdul Jalala majroor mudaf ilay. Qala sallallahu alayhi wasallam qala. Inna Allah, Lafdul Jalala is mansub after inna, right? From the nawasib, those things which make the noun or the verb following it mansub. Inna Allah kataba. Verily Allah wrote. Kataba. Al-ihsana. Kataba mada? Kataba what? Kataba al-ihsan. Mansub maf'ulun bihi. Inna Allah kataba al-ihsan. Allah wrote, and I think it's best to translate it here as excellence. Excellence. It's not necessarily how you would translate ihsan when you come to, for instance, al-Islam and Iman and ihsan. I don't know if there is a good translation for ihsan when it comes to those maratib al-Islam. But here ihsan, Allah knows best, is probably excellence. Inna Allah katab al-ihsan. Verily Allah wrote ihsan. Meaning when He wrote it, meaning He prescribed it. Right? He prescribed it. When a doctor writes you a prescription, he prescribes you, right? He is telling you what to do. Like kataba kutiba alaykum as-siyam. Written for you is fasting, right? And qisas. And other than that, meaning it's prescribed for you to do it. Right? Salat maktuba, the salat which is maktuba, meaning the salat which is written down, meaning the 5 obligatory prayers, right? So it's a prescription, it's a obligation. Verily Allah obligated ihsan. Allah prescribed ihsan. Ala kulli shay. Ala kulli shay. Upon, ala, upon, kulli, every, shay, thing. And kulli is majroor after ala, and shay is mudaf ilayh, majroor after kulli. We said every word that comes after kulli is going to be mudaf ilayh. So, inna Allah katab al-ihsana ala kulli shay. Verily Allah prescribed excellence. He obligated excellence. He wrote excellence upon everything. فَإِذَا قَتَلْتُمْ فَأَحْسِنُوا الْقِتْلَ. فَإِذَا, so if, or so when. So if or when. قَتَلْتُمْ. قَتَلَ meaning to kill. Right? قَتَلَ meaning to kill. قَتَلْتُمْ, so if you kill, meaning you guys, you to a group of people. So if you guys kill, فَأَحْسِنُوا الْقِتْلَ, then do excellence in the qitla, in the killing. Do excellence in the killing. Let me see here, see how they translated it here. This is number 16. Give me a second. This is 16. No, 17. This is. Let's click. So if you kill, it says kill properly. But it says Allah has ordained kindness. We'll get there, inshallah ta'ala. We'll see why I say excellence. It says kindness. This translation from them is obviously doing it in a very, if anyone else has a translation or explanation of 40 hadith, then they can read it, maybe benefit us. They find it in their library real quick. But they're definitely translating by meaning instead of by what the words are. You know, they're being broad and they're taking liberties and they're translating. So ihsan here they're saying is kindness. But then when they get here, they say properly, right? To kill properly. Number one, properly is an adverb, a dharf, which for us makes it mansoob, and it's like a dharf is kind of like a noun, and it's mansoob. Here, this is a verb. So number one, it's not even according to the Arabic, but that doesn't mean it's not correct. It's just not the most exact according to the Arabic. Doesn't mean the meaning is incorrect how they translate it, but it's not exact. فَإِذَا قَتَلْتُمْ, so if you kill, فَأَحْسِنُوا الْقِتْلَ, then do excellence in the killing. Be excellent in killing. And we'll get what that means, inshallah ta'ala. وَإِذَا ذَبَحْتُمْ, and if you slaughter, ذَبَحْ, dal ba ha, ذبح. وَإِذَا ذَبَحْتُمْ, and if you slaughter, فَأَحْسِنُوا الذِّبْحَ, then do excellence in the slaughtering. Here it says slaughter properly, right? وَلْيُحِدَّ أَحَدُكُمْ شَفْرَتَهُ. Here this is the lamb of Tawqid. Well, yuhid, our emphasis, yeah. So meaning, yuhidda from had, meaning to sharpen, right? وَلْيُحِدَّ أَحَدُكُمْ, and let one of you, أَحَدُكُمْ, one of you, sharpen shafratahu, sheen fa ra, meaning his sword, the edge of his sword. Sharpen the edge of his sword, right? وَلْيُرِحْ ذَبِيحَتَهُ, وَلْيُرِحْ, and this is the lamb of Amr. Yurih from Raha. You look it up under the Raw, ha, meaning to rest, to be at ease. Dhabihatahu, and put his animal, his dhabiha, the animal that he's slaughtering, at ease. Put it at ease. Meaning, don't have it looking at the sword, don't beat it up before you slaughter it and do all of that. Rather, put the animal at ease, sharpen his sword, and put the animal at ease. So we can see why we mean excellence. Ihsan means to do things in the best way. As you ihsan in the maratib of Islam is to worship Allah as if you see Him, and even if you don't see Him, know that He sees you. Then this is to do things in the best way, in an excellent form or fashion. So إِذَا قَتَلْتُمْ فَأَحْسِنُوا الْقِتْلَ. Right? Do the best type of killing. Don't when you slaughter, when you are in jihad, kill them in the best way. When you are killing someone due to a crime they committed, kill them in the best way. Right? When you slaughter in the best way. Right? When you sharpen your sword and put the animal at rest. Rawahu Muslim. Any questions?
Can you hear me?
The last part, well, you what did you say that was?
Yarih comes from raha, to be at ease, to be at rest. Right? Raha, like khud rahatak, meaning take it easy, take a break. You understand? A raha can come from like the wind and breath and something which is easily flowing and going in and out like this. So therefore, well, yurih is because of it's saying take it easy, make the animal at rest, make it at peace before you kill. It's going to help the blood. It's going to help the blood flow better, because if its muscles are tense, it's going to keep in some of that blood as you are. When it's bleeding out, it's going to keep in some because the muscles are tensed up. So when you make the animal at ease or slaughter it, you drain more of the blood.
Shafra, is it sword or the tip of the sword?
Shafra is the sword, but
okay.
the word comes from this is the eyeball, right? This little edge here where the eyelashes come out of, that's part of the original source of that word. That little edge of your eye where the eyelashes come out. So it means the edge of the sword, but it means the sword. When they say it, they're going to say sword, but it has the meaning of the edge of the sword. You understand?
Okay.
Okay. Jazakallah khair.
Oh, yeah. Abu Tahir, you ready to read for us?
عن أبي يعلى شداد بن أوس رضي الله عنه أن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم قال إن الله كتب الإحسان على كل شيء فإذا قتلتم فاحسنوا القتلة وإذا ذبحتم فاحسنوا الذبح وليحد أحدكم شفرته وليرح ذبيحته رواه مسلم.
No. Abdullah.
And Abi Ya'la Shaddad ibn Aus radiallahu anhu أن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم قال إن الله كتب الإحسان على كل شيء فإذا قتلتم فأحسنوا القتلة فإذا ذبحتم فأحسنوا الذبح وليحد أحدكم شفرته وليره ذبيحته رواه مسلم.
طيب. يا عامر.
عن أبي ذر جندب بن جنادة وأبي عبد الرحمن معاذ بن جبل رضي الله عنه.
أنت تقرأ الحديث بعد.
سبحان الله. عفوا. عن أبي على شداد بن أوس رضي الله عنه عن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم قال: إن الله كتب الإحسان على كل شيء، فإذا قتلتم فأحسنوا القتل، وإذا ذبحتم فأحسنوا الذبحة، وليحد أحدكم شفرته وليرح ذبيحته. رواه مسلم.
طيب يا أمير.
عن أبي يعلى شداد ابن أوس رضي الله عنه عن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم قال: إن الله كتب الإحسان على كل شيء، فإذا قتلتم فأحسنوا على القتلى، وإذا ذبحتم فأحسنوا الذبحة، وليحد أحدكم الشفرة وليري ذبيحته. سبحان الله. ذبيحته رواه مسلم.
نعم يا زبير.
أبي يعلى شداد بن أوس رضي الله عنه عن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم قال: إن الله كتب الإحسان على كل شيء، فإذا قتلتم فأحسنوا القتلة، وإذا ذبحتم فأحسنوا ذبح، وليحد أحدكم شفرته وليرح ذبيحته. رواه مسلم.
نعم. الحديث الثامن عشر. The 18th hadith. عن أبي ذر جندب بن جنادة وأبي عبد الرحمن معاذ بن جبل رضي الله عنه عن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم قال: اتق الله حيثما كنت، وأتبع السيئة الحسنة تمحوها، وخالق الناس بخلق حسن. رواه الترمذي وقال حديث حسن، وفي بعض النسخ حسن صحيح. عن أبي ذر. عن أبي ذر. Abu became Abi after the an. والذار is مضاف إليه, right? مجرور. It's a kasra is underneath that shadda there, so it's majrur. Its sign is the kasra, right? And Abi Dhar Jundubi. Jundub is two things. Number one, it is the badal for Abi, right? So it's the badal, so it's majrur. And Jundub ibn, right? Mudaf ilay. Ibn is also a badal. No, not mudaf ilay. I'm sorry. I don't know where my mind is right now. I'm sorry. Start over. And Abi Dhar This is mudaf ilay, Abi Dhar. Abu became Abi. Jundub is a badal for Abi. Right? Ibn is a badal for Jundub, which is a badal for Abi. So, an ibni Junada. Right? This is mudaf ilay. Junada is majroor, but it's mamnu min as-sarf. It has that ta marbuta, which makes it mamnu min as-sarf. Doesn't take tanween or kasra, so it's majroor with a fatha. Wa Abi Abdurrahman. So this hadith is on two sahabiyan, right? Abi Abdurrahman. Abi is majroor after an, right? This waw is called harful atf, meaning whatever happened to this thing is happening to the thing after it, right? So Abi Abdurrahman, right? Abdurrahman is mudaf ilay to Abi, the father of Abdurrahman. Abdurrahman is mudaf ilay. Mu'adh ibn Jabal. So Mu'adh is majroor after an. All of this, right? Ibn is the badal for Mu'adh. Jabalin is mudaf ilay. Radiyallahu anhuma, because they are both sahabi, right? So we have two sahabi, Abu Dhar and Abu Abdurrahman, or Jundub ibn Junada wa Mu'adh ibn Jabal, right? Two sahabi. An Rasulillahi sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Rasuli majroor after an. Rasuli lahi mudaf ilay sallallahu alayhi wasallam qal. Ittaqullah. Ittaqillah. Here it's a command. Ittaqi. This comes from the word, the root waw qaf ya. Right? Wiqaya, waqa, meaning to protect, right? To protect and to preserve. So ittaqi, this is a form. We all know this. Taqwa, ittaqillah, ya ayyuhan nas taqu rabbakum. We all know this. Ittaqillah, fear Allah. Allah, lafdul jalala mansub, it's the maf'ulun bihi. Fear what? Fear Allah. Haythu ma kunta. Haythu is where. Haythu ma, wherever. Right? Wherever. Haythu ma, wherever. Kunta, you are. Wherever you are. Wherever you were, wherever you are, fear Allah. Fear Allah wherever you are. This advice has three parts, right? Fear Allah wherever you are, number one. وَأَتْبَعِ السَّيِّئَةَ. وَأَتْبَعِ from taba'a. That's how you're going to look it up, right? Meaning to follow. To follow. أَتْبَعِ السَّيِّئَةَ. Sayyata from sin, waw, hamza. Meaning an evil action. Sayya, an evil action. وَسَيَّاتِنَا وَسَيَّات أَعْمَالِنَا, from the evil of our actions, right? So, follow up an evil action, al-hasana, a good deed. Meaning with a good deed. Follow up an evil action with a good deed. Right? Follow an evil action with a good deed. Hasana is a good deed. Something that you do. Like when you get 10 hasanat, you get 10 good deeds written for you, right? 10 hasanat. Follow up an evil deed with a good deed. Tamhuha. This word comes from mim, ha, wow, meaning to wipe out, right? To erase. Follow up an evil deed with a good deed, it will wipe it out. Tamhuha. This sayya is the ha here. The tamh, this here is talking about the hasana. Al-hasana tamhuha. Yarhamakallah. The good deed will wipe out the evil deed. Right? Well, that's the second advice. Right? That's the second advice. وَخَالِقِ النَّاسِ. Khaliq here is a command to have good behavior. Right? Or behave. Here it is. Behave from khuluq. Khaliq an-nas, and behave with the people, treat the people, behave with the people. With who? With the people. Bi khuluqin hasanin, with a good character, with a good behavior. Behave with the people, treat the people with a good treating, a good behavior, good character, like that, right? Character, I don't think we have a verb like that in Arabic, like have good character. We don't necessarily have that in English. We have to add have good or something like that. Whereas in Arabic, khaliq, and behave, have good have character, have good treatment of the people, a good treatment, or have treatment of the people, a good treatment. Behave with the people, good behaving. Rawahu at-Tirmidhi, وقال, this is narrated by Tirmidhi, وقال حديث حسن, he said hadith hasan. وفي بعض النسخ, Ba'd is the word for some. Some. Nusukh is the plural of nuskha, which means a copy. Nusukh means copies. So in some of the copies, meaning there are more copies of one than at-Tirmidhi. More narrations. He had a lot of students, more than one person wrote it down. Hasanun Sahih. It says Hasan, just does say Hasan, it says Hasan Sahih. In some of the nusukh, ba'd al-nusukh. Any questions?
No.
Can
you just go or explain وَأَتْبِعِ السَّيِّئَةَ الْحَسَنَةَ, like the grammar of it?
Okay. Atba'i, these are all commands. Ittaqi wa atba'i wa khaliqi. These are all commands. Atba'i is a command, but due to the forms of them, like none of them are form 1, where we're used to ijlis and it being a sukoon on the end and stuff like this. It's a little bit different, right? Because they're not form 1s. So atba'i is a command. As-sayyi'at, follow what? Follow what up? As-sayyi'at. Some words take 2 maf'ulun bihis. Some words take 2 maf'ulun bihis. They take 2 objects. I'm trying to find another clear example in my head. I'm not thinking one, but inshallah, hopefully I will. If not, I'll find one after the class. But some words take 2 maf'ulun bihis, 2 objects. Right? This is an example. So atba'i sayya, follow up a bad deed, maf'ulun bihi, follow a bad deed with a good deed. Hasana, with what? A good deed. Right? Give me 1 second, I got my book right here.
Is that at Ba'i or at B?
Atba'i. Atba'i with a but.
So it's supposed to be a fatah.
Yeah. Give me 1 second. Where's my book? 1 second, yeah, hold on. I don't know what I did with it. I brought it in last night. I had it with me.
Oh boy, you know.
Before the hadith. 1 second, yeah, hold on.
You know, it's 3 things you forget, lose when you get old.
Huh?
It's 3 things you lose when you get old.
What's that?
First,
You know better than any of us, so go ahead and tell us, Sheikh.
The first one is you lose your memory. And the other 2 can't remember.
Yeah. Well, You know better than any of us, so no problem, inshallah ta'ala.
That's why I'm telling you that's where your head is. You know, I know the path you're taking there, young man.
Okay, here. Okay, number one is telling us that there's a kasr on this bat. I'm saying it wrong, according to this, which is probably correct. There's a kasr on the bat. Atbi'i as-sayyid. Okay. فعل أمر مبني على سكون. Okay. السيء is المفعول به الأول منصوب. طيب. والحسنة مفعول به الثاني منصوب. Right. So both of them are maf'ulun bihi. Right. Some words take it. I can't think of another example right now, but some words take two maf'ulun bihis, and this is one of those examples, and I'm sorry I can't. I'll think of something clearer and send it to you, Amr, and maybe bring it back up in next class. But atbi'i as-sayyata, this is a maf'ulun bihi. Follow up what? Follow a bad deed, right? Follow it up with what? Al-hasana. That's the clearest I can say it right now, right? That's probably not clear, but I apologize. All y'all making fun of me talking about old and stuff.
Who was y'all?
All these dudes down here laughing, good one, ha ha, all that stuff.
They talking about the joke, man. They not talking about you. Come on, man.
I know they're not talking about because I ain't old, Joker. Alhamdulillah. Anyway, any other questions? I'll find this for you, Abdullah. Or Amr. I ain't old. 45, man. I'm in my prime.
What do you mean two maf'ulun bihis?
Two maf'ulun bihis. Both of these are maf'ulun bihi. I'm trying to think of something that has two maf'ulun bihis, but I can't think of another example right now.
Is it Ja'ala? I'm trying to remember. I remember one too. I don't know if it's Ja'ala. Nah.
Let me see. Maybe. 1 second. Give me one. I mean, that might work.
I still don't get it.
We're gonna find something, inshallah. In the meantime, somebody start reading for us, inshallah. I will look it up, inshallah. If I don't get it, then we'll explain it before the next class, inshallah. Go ahead and start, Zubair.
عن أبي ذر جندب بن جنادة وأبي عبد الرحمن معاذ بن جبل رضي الله عنهما عن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم قال اتق الله حيثما كنت وأتبع السيئة الحسنة تمحوها وخالق الناس بخلق حسن رواه الترمذي وقال حديث حسن وفي بعض النسخ حسن صحيح.
نعم. Abdullah.
عن أبي جندب ابن جنادة وأبي عبد الرحمن معاذ ابن جبل رضي الله عنهما عن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم قال اتق الله حيثما كنت وأتبع السيئات الحسنة تمحوها وخالق الناس بخلق حسن رواه الترمذي وقال حديث حسن وفي بعض النسخ حسن صحيح.
No. The question is, the word wa, is the wa before khaliqin, is it a wa of hal? No, it's the wa al-atf. It's the harf al-atf, meaning and, right? it's the harfu atf. And it says here, clear, it says, wow, harfu atf. الجملة على ما قبلها. So it's just another harfu atf. It's another what? So and. So there's three pieces of advice. Fear Allah wherever you are. Number one. Number two, follow a bad deed with a good deed. It will wipe it out. Number three, treat the people with good treatment. Right? Okay, Abdullah read, Zubair read. Yeah, Abu Tahir, did you read?
No. عن أبي ذر جندوب ابن جنادة وأبي عبد الرحمن معاذ ابن جبل رضي الله عنهما عن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم قال اتق الله حيثما كنت وأتبع السيئات الحسنة تمحوها وخالق الناس بخلق حسن رواه الترمذي وقال حديث حسن وفي بعض النسخ حسن صحيح.
No. Yallah, mic's open. Amr, you read?
لا. عن أبي ذر جندب بن جنادة وأبي عبد الرحمن معاذ بن جبل رضي الله عنهما عن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم قال اتق الله حيثما كنت وأتبع السيئة الحسنة تمحوها وخالق الناس بخلق حسن رواه الترمذي وقال حديث حسن وفي بعض النسخ حسن صحيح.
No. Okay, 1 second. I mean, this is definitely one of them, but for instance, there's more, but this is an example. Maybe it'll clarify it for us, or maybe we'll still need more. But for instance, it says inside of Surah An-Naba, Alam naj'al al-arda mihada. Did you not make the earth, right, a mihada, right, a flat place, or however you want to translate it, right, something that is traveled on, right? Al-ard is the maf'ulun bihi al-awwal. It's the first maf'ulun bihi, right? Didn't you make the earth? What did he make the earth? Or what did he make? He made the earth. Then what did he make the earth? Mihada. So both of them are mansoob, both of them maf'ulun bihi. Al-ard is maf'ulun bihi al-awwal, well mihada maf'ulun bihi al-than. Wal jibala awtada. And didn't you make the jibal? Make what? The jibal maf'ulun bihi al-awwal, right? Awtada. Pegs, right? Pegs in the earth, right? Didn't you make them pegs holding down? Make them what? Make them pegs. وَخَلَقْنَاكُمْ أَزْوَاجًا وَجَعَلْنَا نَوْمَكُمْ سُبَاتًا. And we made your sleep. Made what? Sleep. نَوْمَكُمْ. Mim maftuha and mansoob. Subata, right? Mansoob. Maf'ulun bihi al-thani. وجعلنا الليل لباسا. الليل مفعول به الأول. لباسا مفعول به الثاني. Then we make the night a covering, right? You made the night. What did you make? We made the night. Made it what? A covering. So there's two maf'ulun bihi. So jazakallahu khairan Abu Tahir for that. But there are other examples besides ja'ala. But ja'ala is definitely one of them. And in Surah An-Naba and a lot of Juz Amma, you're going to find that happen a lot with Ja'ala, but there's more than that as well. Is that any clearer?
So you're saying there's certain verbs that will have two maf'ulun bihis.
Yes.
That's a rule.
There are certain words, certain verbs which have two maf'ulun bihis, yes.
in those examples that you mentioned, though, the second maf'ulun bihi is kind of describing the first. Here it's not, is it? Here it's the second maf'ulun bihi is not describing the first. Does that make any difference, or?
Probably going to be because of the word ja'ala, the verb itself. You understand what I'm saying? That's probably going to be because you're going to make something something. You understand what I'm saying? You're going to make something something. So that's probably why it is. Well, for instance, you could say. Let me see. Let me think of the ayat now, and then see if it'll be actually it instead of just saying it. Maybe the ayat will actually say it. See, 1 second. Okay, here's an example with the same 2 words, right? In the end of Surah Al-Furqan, right? يُبَدِّلُ اللَّهُ سَيِّئَاتِهِمْ حَسَنَاتٍ. Now both of them are mansub, right? يُبَدِّلُ اللَّهُ سَيِّئَاتِهِمْ حَسَنَاتٍ. Allah replaces the evil deeds. Replaces what? The evil deeds with good deeds. Right? And they're mansub, even though they have kasras, but that's how the feminine is. So for instance, we have hasanat tun when it's marfu', and hasanat tin when it's mansub or majrur. So they're mansub here, and one is the maf'ulun bihi al-awwal and the third. So yubaddilu is going to take it. So to take it from one thing to another. So if I use that same example, hasanat, sayyat, right? I could say yubaddilu Allahu, but I could say ja'ala Allahu as-sayyat hasanat. Allah made the evil deeds good deeds. You understand? So not necessarily a description. When he made the mountains pegs, the mountains are one thing. The act of it being a peg is something else. You understand? The sleep is one thing, or the night is one thing, and the fact that it's a cover for us is a whole nother thing. You understand? So even though I understand what you're saying, they're a description, at the same time, it's making one thing another. Here, Allah is changing one thing for another. In this example, in our hadith, one is wiping out the other. And I'll find some more examples for us, but there are definitely, in some verbs, to scare you a little bit, Zubair, they might take 3.
No, that's what I was wondering about. I just wondered if we learned a new rule.
No, some verbs might take 3. It's definitely a rule. Some verbs take 2 maf'ulun bihis, and some might take 3. It's possible it would take 3. I'll try to bring it up on our next class, inshallah, before we actually start the hadith. The next hadith is a real long one, inshallah ta'ala. Not real long, but 2 pages, right? So, inshallah, we'll bring it up and then we'll read the hadith, inshallah.
Jazakallahu khairan.
Wa iyaakum. Anything else, ya akhwan? Honest, man, I'm going to open your mic, man. You going to say something or something, man. Fikum barakallah. He ain't letting his mic open up. I don't know what's going on, man. Inshallah.
He asked me how to open a mic.
Huh?
He asked me how does the mic get open. I told him that you sent something.
Oh, and it hung up.